Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above by your Sibling Spirit Guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey, Maureen. Hey, everyone. This is Brian.
Hello, Brian. We're so happy to be here. On this podcast, we share daily channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And boy, Brian, you put a really powerful podcast for today. This is on messages of human transformation and unification. Let me tell you, after listening to this, you're no longer going to view your life from a small perspective. Like it's going to blow it out wide. Wow, Brian, these are some really powerful messages.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes we get some messages that there's not maybe not a lot to them, and then sometimes we get, as our dad would say, some doozies. So these are some big ones that I think I'm glad to share them with everyone and hope you enjoy them.
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off with November 25th, 2025 for transforming your relation through relationships?
Right. So it says, now is the time to regale in the frivolity of human existence. You are here to experience, to relish, to frolic and play. Get out of your hotel room. I think that's referring to you since you're always
Yeah, that's a personal message for me.
so get out of your hotel room or get out of your house, whatever. We wish to remind you of what you forget. You're capable of producing whatever you wish. You do not need to turn to the heavens to have a favor granted or a prayer bestowed. You are the determiner of your worlds. The one, the sword, the organizer, the planner all reside within. The growth to spawn the human development must rise from within. Think of your children. You do not expect a baby to attend a calculus class. You wait until they achieve the proper uniform height and weight and develop neurologically to encompass the equations of the regimental course. Assume where your growth is incremental, though usually unobserved. The takeoff point for most personalities occurs within the breakage point of certain relationships. We watch as many wonder how to navigate forward from these desolate realms. Fear not. With the one, the irreplaceable bonds of are sundered together in anterior realms. For nothing is ever truly broken or unrepairable, including and most importantly, those relationships which you honor and prize. So let's pause there. So I'm not clear on what they're talking. I mean, I get the first part about you determine your own worlds, but then the second part is, no, nothing is ever truly broken. Are they talking about broken relationships or I sort of lost.
Yeah. I think this is again like a personal message for me because I had like a really painful conversation with someone I'm really close to, which, when you have that, I mean, it's like, it's your heart. It's just, there's a reason why they call it heartache. You know what I mean? It's just like, ah. And so this is very, again, with regards to me, it's like get out of your hotel room. It's also, very comforting to me. Like, there is no breakage in the relationship. All bonds are sundered together in the interior realms. Nothing is ever truly broken or unrepairable. And you can look in your relationships too and see that, like, you know, even if you have a super close relationship and it breaks apart, like it forms in a new way. Like it's like when a tree branch breaks off, like, you know, it either heals or like a new branch sprouts out. So, it's not always going to stay in that raw and tender position. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. Okay. Interesting. So now they change the subject to is one of our most often, I know this is boring to some people, but most often subjects of these podcasts is to mathematics. So that we honor those who can see the expanding numerous capacities of their own individual lives. How is this done? We provide the example of a politician. To earn the right to represent the other, they must shake many hands, engage many people, and secure their position through human manipulation. This is done on a case by case basis. Whether you realize this or not, the same is true in your individual lives. You may not be aware of the energetic core of your vibrational resonance. However, this energetic core matches with those who are pulled into your reflective worlds. This is an eddy, a whirlpool, which unites like minded souls in a worthy purpose. You may have different eddies that work concurrently. Your interest in math may be one. Your interest in art may be another. Your love for reading or bicycle riding may be a third. These are all unique signatures of your own physical frame form. But what you know as your individual self. But as you can see, your individual self is made up of connections with others. There is no I, there is only we. This may seem hard to fathom that you can be part of one group and not part of another. Think of your own physical bodies represented by organs which serve separate functions but serve the greater whole. In this way, your individual attributes represent the greater whole on a disparate level too. You acknowledge the physical and emotional bodies, but their mental and spiritual planes are usually left untouched. We ask that you engage with these now. The discomfort you feel is with regards to the new information and the newness of our presence, for we rarely make your acquaintance. Rest assured that we shall provide joyful labors and fruitful benefits on this day, and many others coming forward. That is it. All right. So it's interesting. I thought they were starting to get into math equations, and then it really wasn't in the, but I mean, a lot of this relates to specifically what was going on with you. So what did you make of the message, Maureen?
Well, I what I relate to this is so what I see is sacred geometry. So I know I talk about this all the time, but it's so beautiful. And these ever spiraling, beautiful sacred geometry patterns. And this is what this reminds me of because I think depending on your mood, like my sacred geometry pattern changes. It's not the same every day. And I think that's too why you meet somebody. If you meet somebody and you like, you immediately connect, even though you have no, you've just met this person out of nowhere, you have no history with them. It's because kind of it's your sacred geometry patterns like merge together really well. So I don't know. It's kind of like that's what I think of with when they're talking about a mass signature that is uniquely yours, is these sacred geometry patterns that you emit that I can see, but trust me, everybody is emitting their own sacred geometry pattern. And that was like a aha moment when I started to see this. I remember I was running. I was in St. Petersburg, and because I always thought everything flowed to you. So, like, you ask for help from the angels or, whoever you ask for, the creator, the God, whatever, and that it come to you. But when I saw these sacred geometry patterns, they flow from us. They come from us. So that's why whatever you send out goes back. And that's why it's really important to set your energy correctly at the beginning of the day. So you're sending out those beautiful sacred geometry patterns so you can receive what you want to receive. Does that make any sense?
Yes, yeah, it does. And I think we've talked about this, or and I've certainly read about this, how, if you have a problem with someone, I like how they mentioned that, the energetic core matches with those who are pulled into your reflective world. And so you see this, I mean, if you're having a problem with someone, it's something also reflective of, you know, something with you, you know what I mean?
Right,
Which,
right.
and so, but you can see people that, I like-minded people than the group, but this is it's really interesting. So if you're a very positive person and then not that your world's always going to be perfect, but you should match with those with the same type of demeanor and so forth. So I think that's really interesting. And yeah, I get it. So, but yeah, it's interesting that you see that energy vibrating out in like a sacred geometry or whatever. I mean, that's sort of interesting. I never thought of it in that way. But yeah, because we've talked about other people that can read people's auras too. And I mean, that's a big piece of it too. So they're they can tell what people have similar auras, or someone with maybe some negative vibes, they can just tell from their aura. So that's another thing where I think we've talked about that in the past as well.
And that sacred geometry is in all religious buildings. I don't care what religion you belong to, it's in there. I've been to mosques in Europe and Islam. Islam, they don't allow any art and it's all sacred geometry. All sacred geometry. And when I first I remember I was in Morocco when I first went to a mosque, and I was like, oh my God, they see exactly what I see because it's the same patterns. And if you look at a stained glass window in, a Christian church, or right now I'm in Thailand, and it's the same. Like they have these conical over the Buddhas, they have these like conical towers. And it's like, oh my God, that's exactly something that I would see of sacred geometry. So it's interesting to me because I'm like, these people are definitely seeing the exact same thing, exact same thing that I'm seeing. So confirmation.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I'll go on to the next one, which is from December 22nd, 2025, on human transformation and growth. Begins by saying, we admire the fortitude required to adapt to the human frame. Okay, I got to just pause there. Yeah, let's admire the fortitude of being in. You go in meditation, I go out, I'm astral traveling, I'm in these beautiful places, and then you come back, you're like, whoa, what is going on here? So thank you for admiring that. We rush forward now and speak through this body. Now there is much to say as you have absconded your duties and shirked away from heeding our calls. So that's again personal message for me. I must have skipped channeling the day before, and they're like, no, 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 we have stuff to say. We speak now and worry about the tensions of those who fail to listening to our loving words. Dear humans, rise. Rise. The time is now to go forth and claim your rightful inheritance on this planet and many others. Why do you allow yourselves to be robbed from the equanimity that exists within all beings? Why allow yourself to feel unpleasant emotions, to have worry and fear course through your veins? Shirk these lower vibrations that are not worthy of your attentions. Throw them away. You belong with us in the widening ever circle of divine unity. The entrance is free. We wish to unite with all those that can hear these words. Wow, Brian. I'm ready to go through the entrance that's free. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. And, release fear and negative emotions. Who doesn't want that? And reclaim the rightful place in the greater divine unity. So I know. So this is a great message. I mean, I love this type of messages. So it's funny. It was, like I said, you never know what you're going to get, but this is a good one.
Yeah, so I'll go on and we communicate with an angel. I mean, come on, that's a miracle. That's a blessing. We bring forth another. It's an angel of light. I speak for many of my brethren. We calm the hatred, fears, and divisions on this planet. We wish to access your heart and use it as a test case. If we can succeed in blowing your mind in attempting to fix what many see as unfixable, we shall write the course for much of humanity. Wow. And you know what's interesting, Brian, is I don't know. I guess it didn't work because have we righted the course from humanity? I don't know. Maybe it's too soon to say. But anyway, I go on to say, and I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I said, do you want me to open my palms? And they said, receive, dear one, receive. Then the person, whoever speaks in the I form. It says, I am aligned with the light of the Ever One. That is a halo that is often foreseen upon my holy self. The same is true for anyone who ignites the higher portion of their ultimate self. This is easily done. It is as easy as switching on a light switch. Say you come into a room and you know the light is present, but it's dark. How do you find the light switch? You must pat down the walls. Once you engage the switch, a light comes on with ease. This is the case for humanity. You may try yoga, you may try meditation, you may try breathing practices. All are different ways to move against the wall. Once you've found and engaged with the light fixture, it's easily attainable to engage with the future. We see you do not understand. We search for another analogy. Say you're getting dressed in the morning and you decide to wear a suit, but you work as a street cleaner. This would be incongruent. Your external self does not match the position that you've attained. However, underneath the eyes of the one and the all, you can wear whatever you wish. You can wear a bathing suit, a brief, a bikini, a chemise. All is equal under the eyes of the one. The individual expression is the only way forward to seek the higher path. Too often, those of your kind fear being ostracized or separated from their goals, their groups, their beloved ones by revealing their true self. They act a part which no longer serves them, for you're constantly growing and changing. The father that you once were no longer applies. Could you chaperone your teenager in the same way you would do a young adult? No. Your methods change as you grow and change. The same must be true for your ultimate self, which resides within. And then I said, I still have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe it won't make sense when I read this. And then I heard laughter. They said, worry not, little one. We attend to all needs. You plot about carefully, as does your brother. Throw caution to the wind, for we are often here to catch you. Whatever befalls your individual species. Rush forward, embrace the light, rush forward and become one with the ultimate self that you were truly intended to be. You're more than the glorious selves that reflect in your shiny surfaces. We attend to thee now. That's a really powerful message.
I know.
And yeah,
I mean,
I go
there's
ahead.
so many great things. I mean, but I love the end. Maureen, don't forget, write this down. Throw caution to the wind. They're there to catch you. And I mean, but it's great. I mean, describing, you know, calming hatred, fear, and division, and this message of, you know, really empowerment on this transformational, how to transform yourself. I think is really interesting. What does comes to mind when you think of this message?
Well, now I understand these analogies perfectly. But the time when I channel, like, you have to become totally this empty vessel. So I'm like not processing what I'm receiving. But I love the analogy, the first one, because you come into a darkened room and, yeah, your yoga might be one way of trying to find the light, meditation another, going to a workshop may be a third, reading a book. But once you find that light, once you find the path, like it doesn't move, the light switch doesn't move on the wall. you know,
Yeah.
then you've got your way to access that light and turn it on, keep it on. So yeah,
And I mean, I even like the second analogy about the parenting and how your parenting changes as your child grows, and and same as your spiritual, your inner self should be changing as well. So yeah, I mean, I do like how the analogies are always very helpful for trying to understand their concept. But I like Maureen, you're a straight shooter. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But it's funny. I know I can imagine as in your point, as you're trying to channel this, you can't really do that and process
no,
like,
you can't. you
You
can't
can't be
process the
global. Yeah,
information. You
yeah,
literally have to become the empty vessel, and so you can't process it at
right,
all. Like it's just if you try and process it, then it disappears. It's like
right,
meditating. I mean, it's like, you got to let those thoughts go away before you can reach the good stuff. You can't be thinking about, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? Oh, I need to call my son. Oh, you can't think about
right.
that stuff. You got to let it go to reach the good stuff. So, yeah, I'm grateful for this, to hear from an angel and yeah, really, really. And I just have to end on one final glorious. I love how you are more than your glorious selves and reflect in your shiny surfaces, which means your mirrors.
Yeah, well put, well put. Well, I'll go on to the last message we're going to cover is a message of unification. This was December 25th, Christmas Day, 2025. So the light of the one creator flows directly into your heart as we speak. We unify with the breath and the body of the separate being known as Marine. Her brother is on standby as a secondary force for us to access at this time. We congratulate those who circumvent the asteroids at this time. Not sure what they mean by that, but we wish to correct the perception of our unified selves. We cause no harm and only seek to serve the one and the all. Our good deeds are recorded throughout your history. However, many fear our wild ways. We do not speak of the past, for our days of those with the ancient creatures have passed by. We fortify and strengthen our bonds with humanity through activities such as this one. We unify with the breath and the body of Maureen and her brother now. The connection is clear. We hover above as others come forward to rightfully pronounce their way and claim their identities. So let's pause there. I mean, is this what what do you remember of these beings? It sounds like obviously, for alien beings, but I mean we all of our star beings, but I mean, what do you recall from this one? Do you remember anything about this
I,
message?
yeah, and that's another thing with channeling, like because I'm not processing it, then it doesn't stay in your mind. I mean, a lot of times I like just remember a fragment of what happened, but yeah, no, I don't remember about this at all. But it's like there's so many, we congratulate those who circumvent the asteroids at this time. Like, what does that mean?
I know that's
Uh,
and and they're good deeds. So, I mean, however, many fear our wild ways. I just don't. I thought you might have
no,
got an
I,
image or
no,
something. I have no idea. It's
I have no
the
idea. And
strange one.
I stopped when I first started channeling, like I would always ask, like, who is this speaking? And so many of these beings don't even have names for themselves. They're like in a
Right.
group entity kind of thing. So I stopped because what does it matter? Like as long as they're beings of love and light and service to this planet, like it really doesn't matter who the message is from. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, brother, but yeah, you want to go on with the body of the message?
Yeah. So then they go on, I am I. I speak for all those who circumvent your globe. We come now to herald the angelic forces of heavenly light. The penetrating glare of the ultimate presence cannot be denied in your worlds anymore. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. We circumnavigate the globe, searching for the righteous ones who listen for the call to rise above and take back their lives from the industrious slave who whip time forward. Pay no attention to the drive, the urge to create new things. You are here in this ever present glorious moment. Can there be a moment to top this one? In your minds, perhaps, but look for the greater glory of the ever present moment. This gift is the one that keeps on giving. We circumnavigate the globe, searching for the righteous ones who grow weary of the mind games of the ever-present powers. Pay no heed to the driving mechanizations of their world. Rise above what no longer serves you. Hear the greater call and reunify with your heavenly brethren. We delight in these small opportunities to connect with you and your brother on a daily basis. We hover near. Thank you for your careful recordings of our generous words. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot to, cover on this one. What comes to mind for you on this one?
I think it's pretty clear, it's there is this driving mechanization to go forward and like in our worlds to like make more money and, get a better job and find the perfect relationship. And it's like, get off that treadmill.
Yeah.
Get off that treadmill. It's not gonna, it's the slaves who are whipping, whipping time forward who are creating that. And it's not gonna bring you. Boy, it was at a Dr. Joe workshop, Brian, that I had that moment where, once you become skilled at manifesting, and yeah, you can manifest whatever you want. And then you realize, you manifest the new relationship, the new car, the new house, whatever it is. And it brings you temporary, fleeting satisfaction. And the only deep satisfaction that exists in this world you know, is exactly what they're saying is pay no heed to the driving mechanizations of the world, go within and unify with the one, the all, and with everything, right?
Well said. Yeah. Yeah. I think that really covers. I mean, it's we've talked about this in the past, or we've also read books about this, but how you know there are higher beings, not high, there are you know just others that are this involves the watching TV and your screens and everything like that, that there's just so much just garbage out there that doesn't relate to what's important. And this, I think, sets what's important and really reminds us of what really is important. And so anyway, I think this was very well said. And yeah, so all these different messages, it's hard to, sometimes process, but I think just grateful for the opportunity to share these with all of you.
Yeah. And like I said, these are really, really life transforming messages. You're worried about whatever it is you're worried about. And, it's just, it does. For me, at least, it just is like looks at the broader picture and what you're really here to deal with, which is actually what we're going to talk about next week's podcast, which is the purpose of life. And guess what? It's not to get the new job and the new girlfriend, the bigger house, the better car. None of that, you know. So we've got some really clear messages on what is the purpose of life.
All right. We'll look forward to that next time. Thanks for all this, Maureen, and appreciate you. And we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you then.